He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
He liked sparring.
Yeah.
When I watched it, which, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
No, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night.
Joe Rogan reacted in shock after Anthony Joshua revealed that Jake Paul had pushed for a scripted bout. Joshua made it clear that he only agreed to a real fight with real risk involved. Rogan pointed out that many of Paul's past wins have faced accusations of choreography and overly compliant opponents. Critics argue that those victories inflated his record and fueled title talk without elite competition, leaving fans questioning the legitimacy and true intent behind the spectacle and sparking debate across the sports world. Leaving fans questioning the legitimacy, intent, and authenticity behind the spectacle.
You would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't, yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah.
a guy who's gigantic in his prime,
Gigantic.
built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand.
Joe Rogan said the fight looked more like a controlled sparring session than a truly dangerous war. He explained that while there were moments of tension, the bout never reached a level where serious damage seemed likely. Rogan added that boxing can turn ugly very fast, so seeing both fighters walk away without major injuries was a positive outcome. He stressed that safety matters more than hype and said he was glad no one absorbed heavy shots that could lead to long-term consequences.
I've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chael Sonnen said the situation simply does not make sense when viewed logically. He explained that a fighter with only 11 professional bouts should not be standing across the ring from an experienced Olympic medalist. In Sonnen's view, the gap in skill, experience, and ring IQ is far too wide to ignore. He also pointed out that the weight difference makes the matchup even harder to justify, as the more seasoned fighter was not only above Jake Paul's usual competition level but also naturally heavier. Sonnen argued that in real competitive boxing, commissions and trainers would never allow such a pairing under normal circumstances. To him, the matchup raises serious questions about authenticity and intent, suggesting that when fights ignore basic sporting logic, fans are right to doubt whether what they are watching is truly competitive.
Jake, or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better, I believe I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down, I will put him somewhere, and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other things. Where I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. While I'm saying that, Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience, and yeah, he was moving, and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like, for that to be Joshua's mindset,
Joe Rogan noted that Jake Paul has always wanted to prove himself as a real fighter by taking on opponents in the ring and showing he can handle genuine competition. He emphasized that Jake thrives when the challenges are real, not scripted or fixed. However, stepping up against Anthony Joshua represented a completely different level. Rogan explained that because Jake has never faced someone with Joshua's size and power, it is impossible to know his true stamina or how he would hold up in a fully intense bout against such an experienced heavyweight. While acknowledging Jake's skill and speed, Rogan stressed that his endurance and resilience against top-tier heavyweights remain unanswered questions.
We expect Jake Paul to be fighting like higher level competition. It's not because he has under 10 fights. It's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about him.
And that's exactly true. But I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to like admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So if you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that, and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who's just coming up. And what does he have?
Tim Bradley openly called out Jake Paul, saying he is fake and that his fights lack genuine competition. He argued that Paul's matches often appear orchestrated, with opponents seemingly following a script instead of engaging in real competitive boxing. Bradley criticized how these staged outcomes have helped Jake build a record that exaggerates his true abilities. He warned fans not to be misled by the spectacle, noting that while the events may be entertaining, they do not reflect real boxing skill or risk. According to Bradley, this approach undermines the integrity of the sport and sets a misleading example for young fighters.
I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle when you built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of, no, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that, because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool, I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff, that's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Daniel Cormier praised Jake Paul for his bravery in stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua, acknowledging the serious risk involved. While joking that anyone would fight for a massive payday, he still recognized the courage required to face a seasoned heavyweight after previously competing against much lighter opponents. Cormier highlighted Paul's athleticism and movement, explaining how constant motion and dodging powerful shots drains energy quickly. Despite that, Paul managed to last against an elite opponent. Cormier compared the challenge to wrestling, emphasizing the repeated effort and resilience required under pressure. He concluded that Paul's performance showed boldness, adaptability, and commitment, proving that despite controversy around his career, he approached the—
What were your thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul was a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City and I said to him, it was weird too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows. And Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, DC. I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job at WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does.
I don't watch WWE, but I know that.
Dude, he might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world.
Really?
He's such an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. But
I'm just stroking him right now.
I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is.
Okay.
From the moment he started doing it, he was really good.
He can cut a promo, huh? Like, he got what kids say.
He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring.
Okay.
He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're gonna go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's gonna just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand drop. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time. But all that moving costs energy. Right?
I mean, I used to spar with the Robert Guerrero here in Gilwell.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape. I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's light work. It makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. He's like shooting double legs and shit. Like, all you look like Dylan Dan over seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan, but it's Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you gotta get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you gotta get up.
It makes you more tense. It should be more iron off you. It's a worse shot.
I mean, and Anthony.
Eddie Hearn reflected calmly on the clash between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, explaining that the strategy had always been clear: stay patient, control the pace, and gradually wear Paul down before securing a decisive finish. He emphasized that this plan was designed to